Hey guys, welcome to Technibility, your source for no-nonsense tech and cell phone repair. We got a great comparison here for you guys today. We got the Apple iPhone 6 versus the Samsung Galaxy S6. The iPhone 6 was released last year, and the S6 is set to be released in early April across all markets. So stay tuned for the Galaxy S6. If you guys already haven't, check out our individual reviews of both phones. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel below. And if you have any cell phone repair related questions, again, check out the description. I have my contact information. You can directly reach me and let me know what it is you want repaired. We do take ship-ins. Alright, again, thank you guys for watching Technibility. My name is Berj. In case you don't know who I am or how these videos work, my reviews and comparisons are fairly long. They go on for sometimes up to 40-45 minutes. And I do that because I want to try to go through every feature as I possibly can, between hardware, software, the camera, and everything else in between. I want to cover as much data and information as possible, and my videos are drawn out. They go on for a long time, and I don't really, I'm not big on graphics and cutting and, putting it in different categories. I just go with the flow, guys, and I use the phone as any normal, regular person would use it. So bear with me. Stay tuned, guys. Again, this is going to be a long comparison, but I do want to cover as much as I can. If I make minor mistakes on the way, please inform me in the comment section below. And also, if I miss anything as well, let me know. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. What are my sunglasses doing here? Well, let's move that out of the way. Okay, here you have the Apple iPhone 6. The Apple iPhone 6 is Apple's flagship device. Of course, the S6 is Samsung's flagship device. They both have phablets, quote-unquote phablets, with the 6 Plus as well as the Note line, the Note 4 being the latest model. With the iPhone 6, you have a 6.9 millimeter frame. Now, this is the space gray version with a resolution of a little over 720. I think it's like 760p, rendering 326 pixels per inch. So they stay true to that quote-unquote Retina display. But it's much more vibrant and clear and crisp than, say, the 5C and the 5S. So the screen is definitely bright. It looks like it's painted on. It's got a good lux rating, which means in direct sunlight, it's easy to view. Fantastic viewing angles, which you're probably not going to be able to see in this video. But it's got really good viewing angles. You could see the color saturation is solid. Very hard to notice pixels. You're going to be hard pressed to notice pixels on this device. If you do, again, you're going to have to look really close. Overall, it's just a really gorgeous display. You can see the front of the device, you have the Touch ID sensor, okay, which is improved. On the bottom, you have the speaker, the lightning port, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, as well as the microphone. And you can see mine has slightly bent a little bit. Again, 6.9 millimeter frame, slightly bent, not, maybe you may not notice that, but it is there. It's slightly bent right here on this side. All right, let's go ahead and turn it to the side right here. And you have the SIM card tray, which is a nano SIM. You have the power button. Up top, you have nothing. On this side, you have the volume rockers and then vibrate and silent mode. And of course, you have the 8 megapixel camera and the flash. You have the Apple logo and all that good stuff. It's definitely got a nice feel to it, a nice look. Feels good in the hand. Could be a little slippery. It's definitely a high-end device. I mean, just feeling it in the hand is a high-end device. It looks thin. It feels thin. It's so thin that, again, some people say that it bends. But, again, that really depends on whether or not yours has bent. It's got a updated Apple core processor. It's got, I believe, a gig of RAM. Let's see, what else? It's basically for the most part, it's an iPhone. I mean, iPhone users aren't spec heavy, so, it's not really a phone that's going to be touting its specs, but no doubt about it, it's a fast phone. So it's not like, given that it only has a gig of RAM, it's going to slow it down. No, it's a very fast phone. It charges super fast. The battery life is, it's okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best, but because it charges really fast, you're going to get pretty solid battery life. So overall, as an overall device, the iPhone 6 is definitely a flagship that people love. It's a phone that people, I think, definitely are attached to. And people like the bigger screen. They like that Apple went that route. You can say what you want about, Apple and their philosophies, but it was about time that they made a 4.7-inch minimum size display on the iPhone. All right, here you have the soon-to-be-released Galaxy S6. If you guys already haven't, check out the individual review of this device where I cover basically every possible feature. All right, now this is a absolutely stunning device. Samsung has really upped the ante with build quality. Now, just looking at them, both these phones, which we'll compare them side by side, it may, to your eyes, it may look similar to the iPhone. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and cover the specs. You have an octa-core processor on this thing, an Exynos octa-core processor, with 3 gigabytes of RAM, a 16 gigabyte rear camera with better image stabilization built into the camera, a front-facing 5 megapixel camera. You have the, of course, fingerprint scanner, which is improved, so no longer do you have to swipe down. Now you could just basically push on it like you do with the iPhone to unlock your phone with the fingerprint scanner. You have the trademark back and the menu keys. Okay, on the bottom here you see you have the speaker grill, the microphone, the charging port, as well as the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. On this side you have the nano SIM card tray with the power button. All right, let's look at the rear. And in case you're wondering about the stickers, that's for security reasons. Again, 16 megapixel camera. They've surrendered the removable battery and external SD card slot and added a unibody build. Some people may like that, some people may not. But Samsung did a survey and found that majority of people don't even carry, majority of Samsung users don't carry external batteries around with them. And plus, SD cards tend to corrupt. They tend to corrupt the phone. They tend to corrupt in general. So again, I'm not a big fan, but I know a lot of people who are. So it's really in the eye of the beholder. Again, you see the volume rockers up top. You have the IR blaster. It's just an absolutely beautiful build. It's 6.8 millimeters, so it's ever so slightly thinner than the iPhone 6. And you can see it kind of protrudes in there. So it is a really, really thin phone, but likely not to bend because of its glass build. And it's just absolutely gorgeous in terms of its display. This is a Quad HD 2K resolution 5.1 inch display, rendering a whopping 577 pixels per inch. Now that's more than the Note 4 because the Note 4 is packing a QHD on a 5.7 inch display. So you're going to get more pixels here. Not very discernible to the eye, but it does have more pixels. I just wanted to note that. And also at the same time, I believe there's a few 2K resolution displays on the market right now, including the LG G3. So Samsung is really up the ante with the Super AMOLED 2K resolution display. Again, beautiful viewing angles. Almost impossible to discern a pixel. You're not going to notice pixels in texts, in the icons, in anything, actually, for that matter. So the 2K resolution is absolutely fantastic. They really up the ante, and in comparison to other high-end phones, this display definitely kicks butt and takes names, no doubt about it. All right, so let's go ahead and look at them together here. All right, again, although it's slightly thinner than the iPhone 6, it doesn't look like it, right? Looks like it's a little bit thicker. Well, believe it or not, it is slightly thinner. Again, that's because it slightly protrudes in there. So it is a slightly thinner device. You can see it from that side, both nano SIM card trays and both power buttons respectively. All right, you could see the bottom of both devices. Again, speakers, microphone, very similar looking, right? But unique for Samsung because it's a different type of device, a different type of design, excuse me. All right, you can see this side here. You can see it from up top, of course. Looking at the backs, of course, you have the metal build and then you have the glass on the rear of the device. Bigger camera, which protrudes out on both devices, actually, which both companies had to do in order to make these high-quality, fantastic cameras on both devices, which, again, we will get into. All right, you can see the front of the device in terms of their screens. I have the screen brightness at identical for both. It's at about 80% for both. And you can see them just in terms of their designs, all right? Okay. All right, so that's hardware on both devices. Both absolutely fantastic builds, no doubt about it. They definitely excel in that regard. Let's go zoom into both of them and look at the color saturation. Again, you're going to be hard pressed to notice. Like, look at the YouTube icons. Really, Apple has high quality icons. They always have. Android is kind of stepping it up in that sense. So, eventually all the icons will be customized for this 2K resolution display, or Quad HD as they call it. All right, going through the software here, you have iOS 8.2 on the iPhone and you have Android 5.0.2 Lollipop with TouchWiz on the Samsung. So both philosophies are different, open source versus closed source. Now, Apple has made a little bit more of an effort to try to integrate third-party apps into the system by allowing third-party sharing options in the gallery, for example. But Android is truly the definition of open source in the sense that you can root it, you could flash custom ROMs, you could put different OSs, CyanogenMod, etc. So there's a lot more features in that sense with the Android, whereas with the iPhone, you could, basically do certain types of customizations and whatnot. You would have to jailbreak the device. So you can root this one, you could jailbreak this one, but the Samsung, without having to root it, will allow you to install themes. So you could see here, if you go to themes, you have a variety of different themes that you can download, default, pink, space, And you can download more by going into the Samsung store and downloading a variety of different themes. And also, one thing I want to mention about hardware, wireless charging is built into this device, which is fantastic. If you see wireless charging docks at Starbucks, easy to charge. It's quick charge, there's adaptive charging, which basically charges super fast, as does the iPhone with the Lightning port. But I like the fact that now car manufacturers are going to build in wireless charging docks into cars, as will IKEA with furniture. That's pretty cool. As well as NFC and all that good stuff is still in this device. Apple Pay and Samsung is going to come out with Samsung Pay soon, so stay tuned for that, guys. So again, looking at both devices, you see you have themes here, whereas with the iPhone, you don't have many customizations in that sense. And if we were to go to settings on both devices, you could see the difference in philosophies. Again, they look similar, right? I mean, they really do. You have the search feature here with the Samsung, so you could search a variety of settings. You have the quick settings options, the connection options, NFC and payment. You have the motion and gesture options. And Samsung has stated that they've removed about 200 features from the Galaxy S6. So although you're going to see some features that you're accustomed to, multitasking, motion and gesture, etc., they have removed a lot of features. And you can see how motion and gestures work. Apple does have accessibility features, and you can see the text is crisp on both devices. I just want to point that out here. So you can see just in terms of both of them, really clear, crisp text. Good color saturation. Super AMOLED generates better blacks, but I think LCD on the iPhone generates slightly better whites or more true whites. Again, it's all in the eye of the beholder. We can see the motion features here. Apple does have accessibility features, so you can go here and do certain things with the accessibility, no doubt about it. So they both have their own features that are true to what both of them are trying to do. And if we go back to settings for the iPhone, you can see most of the app settings are in the actual phone settings. So let's just go pick this up here and show you guys. So you can see a lot of the app settings, Citibank, etc., are here in the actual settings of the phone. It's super smooth. You have that inertia effect. So the device has always been smooth, fluid, display and wallpaper, or display and brightness, and you have wallpaper options as well. So you could see, if I was to choose a new wallpaper, you could see the wallpaper that the iPhone comes with. Definitely high quality. All right, you also have the motion feature, okay, which basically the motion is if you were to, do this thing, you get the wallpaper kind of moves around, has a slightly 3D effect. And then here with the Samsung Galaxy S6, if I was to simply go to display, you could see, of course, the brightness feature and all that, and wallpapers here right above themes. So you can see the wallpapers here that it comes with, QHD wallpapers, high resolution for sure. You can set them via the home screen, lock screen, same as the iPhone in that sense. And again, same, it kind of has that motion feature. You're probably not going to be able to see that in the camera, but it does have this, it does move ever so slightly. So both of them have that feature. Now, Apple also has dynamic wallpapers, which is basically live wallpapers. I mean, if you're accustomed to Android, then you know about live wallpapers. So Apple has added that to the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, and iOS 7 and 8 in general. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the notification centers on both phones, or notification bar here on the Galaxy. No longer can I use two fingers to bring down the quick settings panel, but you see I do have toggles up here, which I could simply edit by clicking that little pencil button, and that will edit the toggles. You can also go to settings. You have S-Finder Quick Connect, of course, notifications, which you could just swipe away, and the brightness toggle. So let's go ahead and close that. And of course, if a notification pops up, you'll get you'll actually get a notification, or it'll show you the notification right up here. Same with the iPhone, it'll show you the notification right up here, and you can customize whether you want emails to do that and whatnot. So you can see right here, you have Today tab, which you can edit and add specific widgets, as I like to call them, notification widgets. And again, notifications here, which you could just swipe away and X out, or simply clear all. There should be a clear all button somewhere. All right, so that's notification system center. And you can see here the control panel, or the control center, which is not customized. You can't customize the control center. You get what they give you, but it's useful features. I use it all the time. And that's basically what the toggles up here are for the Samsung. It's the same kind of concept. And again, you can play Pandora and different music here, iTunes. And the same can be said here with the Samsung, is if I have music playing, it'll show up on the notification bar. And if I just X out here, it'll X out of it. Speaking of Xing out, if I was to just click here, you can see the multitasking on the Galaxy S6. Double tapping here takes me to this multitasking. I could swipe away 2 at a time, or 3 at a time actually for that matter. And you have my recent contacts right up there as well. See Perfecto. Okay. So very easy to do. Quick, easy system. Self-explanatory, basically. Here with the multitasking on Samsung, you can simply just close them one by one or click close all. You also have the option to multitask here. So you can see I have gallery open, I have messages open. All right, so let's say I want to, I don't know, I can expand this, I could switch it over, I can just minimize it right there right now, and I can do this with multiple different windows. So again, if I click right there, click gallery, and again messages, this time I want to minimize the gallery. It's right there. Alright, so I'll have the window open right here while I'm doing a variety of different tasks. So this is the true definition of multitasking, in my opinion. You could do what you'd like as it's actually on the screen. So I can make phone calls, text, browse the web, watch videos, etc. So we're going to X out of that so you can see multitasking on the Galaxy S6 there. Very similar to the Note 4. If you're familiar with the Note 4, then you know all about this multitasking system. Go ahead and open them at the same time. Alright, let's go ahead and go to ESPN.com on both these devices. Same time, same Wi-Fi network. You can see how quick that loaded on both. But actually, let's see if we can do desktop site here. You can see just text on both is super clear, super crisp. Okay, doesn't give me the option for desktop, but in any case, you guys can see both of their respective websites. Now we're going to go to technibility.com here. Okay, both devices. Right, again, you can see pinch zoom. You can see the clear, crisp text on the iPhone. Pinch zoom here. You got scrolling on both. No checkerboarding on either of them. And of course, you have private mode, incognito mode, and then you have tabs, and you can auto rotate, of course. Let me see if I have auto rotation. Okay, you can auto rotate both here. Swipe away the tabs and do as you so please with them. Alright, so there you get the browser. You can see how that looks here when it's in you can see it in both portrait and landscape mode. You can add tabs and whatnot. Same here, new tab, bookmarks. So browser is good on both. Absolutely fantastic viewing in terms of screen size, 5.1 inches versus 4.7. But in any sense, they are definitely both fast and responsive. Scrolling text is clear and crisp. Of course, what else do you expect with a 2K display now? That's just what you're going to get here with the Galaxy. You're going to get good viewing on the iPhone as well. Now, creating folders on the Samsung is slightly changed. You can just drag an icon into another icon to simply create a folder. Apple has always had that philosophy as well. You could just create a folder by dragging an icon into another icon. Samsung, on the other hand, you actually used to have to drag it up and create a folder from going up top. So now you can actually drag it into another icon. Very convenient. Again, just for convenience factor, it's much easier. All right, let's look at both keyboards here on both devices. You could see their respective keyboards. All right, you can see that, and of course you have the variety of different emojis here. You can add emojis, and if you were texting a person with an iPhone, you could send them a voice text. If you wanted to add a picture here, you could see I can add recent pictures and whatnot, go to the photo library and so and so. All right, let's look at the Samsung here with Samsung's keyboard. This is just hard to do while I'm looking in the camera, guys. Okay, and of course you can add third-party keyboards, same with the iPhone. And you can see the variety of different emojis here as well. Alright, some people said that it's a little laggy in the actual initial review video when I go through the emojis, but it's still, this phone is anything but lag. Yeah, I'll say that right off the bat, and we'll get through that when we do a performance test. Same situation, you can add pictures, videos, etc. here, contacts, so you could do that through there. Now let's do a voice text test, and of course you have auto rotate as well. So, hey, what's going on? Question mark. Do you want to do something? Question mark. Let's go hang out! Exclamation mark. Which one is going to type what I'm saying faster? period. So today, I was walking down the street and I saw some guy who had a Windows phone. And I thought, really cool, somebody using a Windows phone. You don't see that too often these days, but I'm a big fan of Windows phones. So I was like, hey, exclamation mark, you got a Windows phone, exclamation mark. And the guy said, well, of course, it's the best phone in the planet. And I said, well, to be fair, there are other really good phones. So we both went through different devices and we found, okay, that's it. So the iPhone stopped. All right, the Samsung's still typing. All right, let's stop. What's going on? Sometimes somebody really cool. Somebody using Windows Phone. Okay. So this one didn't really type everything that I said, but both of them weren't really that correct. I guess I was talking too fast. But in any case, if you talk slow, this system will get better in time. I mean, we're still kind of in the early stages of voice to text, even though we're not. We kind of are, but eventually it'll get so much better, you know, with technology improving. So you can see how the respective text messaging works. If I was to send this here, I can, you know, expand, make it smaller, bigger. And of course, you do have the option to change themes, which also changes the theme of the messaging app. So that's a cool feature Samsung added. All right, so that's the messaging app on both devices. You can see contacts. I don't have any contacts set up here, or maybe I do. Okay, so all my contacts are synced right here. You can see how that works. Of course, you could set them up with a variety of different pictures. You can see my contacts here. Okay, so those are the contacts. Let's look at the dialer on both. Okay. Respective dialers. Visual voicemail and whatnot, you have that as well. Okay. You know what the Play Store is all about. All right, let's go ahead and look at video here on both devices. I like that the numbers are there. All right.
I hate that freaking turtle.
His name's Anthony.
Well, I might just turn even Anthony.
You keep away from my turtle. Got it?
He's mushy.
Oh, yeah? You get no birthday. There's a party and you can't come. How's that? They're gonna have flaming cars and trailers
Under the door.
and shrimp dogs and pizza.
No. Oh, dang it.
You don't even get to touch the blind kid.
This is where the scarecrow is grown. I grew up with a pig. They're real clean.
Baby, all my friends told me that the beaver is the same way, okay?
World War II ended.
Mr. Potato Head likes to punch me.
All right, see video on both.
Seriously.
High quality on both, no doubt about that. All right, let's say I was to click on these pictures here in the galleries. You have their variety of different sharing options. And again, now Apple has added third-party sharing. It's been there for a little bit, but you can see the filters here, the editing options and whatnot. You can crop it and do all that good stuff. Okay, here you have the option to edit as well. If you go to edit, you go to photo editor, and you have effects, portrait, and you can see the different filters. You can add more, download more. You have adjustment features. Okay, so let's discard that. And again, here are the sharing options. Here. Screen mirroring. Screen mirroring is cool. They're going to add that to cars, as well as, you know, with the rear view mirror and the ability to add your screen to your rear view mirror in your car. There's a lot of cool things coming here with Samsung innovations with cars and furniture, of course, with IKEA. So you can see view content on print. You have the same feature here, print, set as wallpaper. More meaning, you know, third-party apps, Facebook, Twitter, Mail, Android, Beam. So sharing it is really easy. You could share multiple pictures. You could do that on Android as well. So going back here and canceling, you could see if I was to pinch in on it. Okay, you can see if I was to pinch in here. Let's close out of everything here. And I'm going to show you guys this widget here that Samsung's added. Basically, it allows you to use a task manager without actually having to download a third-party task manager. So you can click Clean All here, and it'll clean your RAM, storage, security, etc. So you can see it's right here. It's called Smart Manager. All right, so let's close out of that. And of course, like I showed you guys, you have the widgets and wallpapers, and yeah, these are just normal widgets that you get with Samsung, with Android in general. This is something that I thought was cool. It's almost like a live icon. If you were to swipe, to the left, you can see the clock refreshes and actually ticks. Okay. All right, now you have this new Apple Watch feature here with 8.2. Well, you get the same thing with Samsung with Galaxy Gear. You can sync the Galaxy Gear just as you would sync the iPhone with the Apple Watch. We have yet to see the Apple Watch, so we'll stay tuned for that. And of course, we will do a review of the Apple Watch as well and a comparison between the Galaxy Gear and the Apple Watch. All right, and if this doesn't work with the VR, in case people are wondering. The Gear VR only works with the Note. Now you see you have S Health here in the app drawer. You have some other Samsung apps. They've taken away a lot of the bloat that they had previously, but you have Smart Manager, S Voice, again, Milk, Smart Remote, File Manager, Voice Recorder, and a lot of Google apps. You can see Play Drive, Newsstand, etc. And no, you can't uninstall these. You can edit and disable certain apps, remove them from the app drawer, but you can't actually uninstall them. You would have to root the phone in order to do that. But just in general, there isn't as much bloat as there once was. So, that's actually a good thing. All right, let's go ahead and do a performance speed test here. So we're going to look at the phone, open the phone, messaging, internet, camera, which we'll get into in a moment, as well as the lock screen, and games, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, let's say the app stores. Man, they're almost identical, aren't they? Okay, settings. YouTube. Okay, it was a little bit faster on the iPhone to load up. All right, so you see both really fast, really fluid devices. Let's go ahead and look at their lock screens. Okay, you can see iPhone's lock screen, very minimal. You have the camera, which you can unlock. You have the notification center, control center, touch ID sensor. Swiping like that gets you nothing. And of course the unlock. All right, here with the iPhone, you have lock screen widgets. You can see right here, if I click on that, it's basically my notification bar. You have shortcuts here as well. So look, you can see how quick this opens the camera. Super fast, as does the iPhone. And that's what we're going to get into right now, are the cameras. All right, both cameras are absolutely fantastic. No doubt about that. In terms of photo quality, they both take really good pictures. 8 megapixel versus 16 megapixel. You have great image stabilization here on the iPhone, but on the Samsung, now they've built it into the camera, so it's also really solid. I mean, both are just fantastic cameras. I couldn't stress that enough. You could see burst shot here on both. Okay. Then you have slow-mo on both video cameras as well. A snapshot here while I'm recording a video. All right, so you can see video mode, slow-mo. Okay, so if I was to go to mode here, all right, so you see, actually I did the front-facing camera. If I was to go to mode here, you can see if selective focus, panorama, fast motion, slow motion, virtual shot. Virtual shot's cool. I'll show you guys a virtual shot that I took earlier. All right, so different effects. You can see up here where it says effect. You have a variety of different effects on the camera. I'm going to show you guys here. All right, so those are basically filters, which you also have here on the iPhone. If I was to go to photo, you can see the variety of different filters here. So a lot of people are accustomed to these features. Front-facing camera, there you guys go. Yes, I'm recording with a backless Note 4. All right. So the camera is really solid on both. However, Samsung does give you a few more options here with the camera. You can see all the different settings, camera settings here. You can go into camera settings in the actual settings option, in the settings of the actual OS on iOS. Here with the camera on Samsung, you can actually go into the settings directly from the camera, different effects, different modes, beauty mode, which kind of smoothens out the photo. And again, I do want to show you guys a virtual shot I took earlier. You can see it's kind of like this cool 3D thing. Actually really nice, interesting. You can't share this, but Samsung's going to create a hub to share it with. It's virtual shot. All right, these aren't the greatest indications of what you get with the quality of the cameras, but they're both absolutely fantastic in terms of just sheer quality and detail. All right, so both cameras are just really great. I mean, they're both super duper fantastic quality cameras. No complaints out of me. Just overall, they take solid pictures, solid detail, and when you transfer these over to a computer, you're not going to see a loss in detail at all. just bright, vibrant. Everything is really good with these cameras. I have no complaints. All right, we got the Galaxy S6 recording at full 1080p here with the 16 megapixel camera. All right, so you guys can see. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Full zoom. Sunny Glendale, California. All right, we're doing 1080p sample video here with the iPhone 6. Sunny Glendale, California. The full zoom. Just a quick 30-second video. We're going to do jackpot slots on both. See how quick it loaded on the Samsung. It's still loading on the iPhone for some reason. We'll just play it here. See, there's a little bit more detail and graphics here. You see, I can kind of swipe with my finger and it swipes. Whereas with this, it's not really as I just swiping it. Both really good, really fast. Again, exiting out. On both devices. See how that works there? All right, let's check out Google Now. You see, get Google Now. Of course, you have S Voice and all that good stuff. All right, okay, Google. Tell me the weather.
It's 77 degrees.
What is the weather in Mississippi?
It's 76 degrees and mostly cloudy in Jackson.
Okay, see, Siri still...
It doesn't seem cloudy in Jackson, Mississippi.
I don't know where... Okay, Google. Who is the 26th President of the United States?
Checking on that. The answer is Theodore Roosevelt.
Theodore Roosevelt was the 26th President of the United States.
Okay, Google. Okay, Google. How old is Angelina Jolie?
Angelina
Siri
Jolie
has
is
a
39.
Siri has a Hey Google type feature to a Hey Siri type feature. What is 36 plus 39 plus 96 minus 83 times 14 divided by 2 to the second power?
The answer
Checking.
is minus 119.
The answer is minus
They both gave me different answers, but they both probably didn't get it right, obviously. Okay, Google. Define sequence.
Sequence, a particular order
let me
which
think.
related events,
All right,
movements,
here's
or
what I
things
got.
follow each other.
Okay, Google. Okay, Google. What is the best phone in the world?
The one you're holding.
Galaxy Note 4. Okay, Google. Tell me a joke.
If I told you a joke in my language, I'd have to explain it.
Okay, so Siri's a little bit more personable, I suppose, but Google Now responds so fast. It's absolutely ridiculous how fast it responds. All right, so okay, you see that. All right, of course you have Facebook on both, so let's check out Facebook. What that looks like. All right, very similar, obviously. see the bottoms are a little bit different. Check-in photo status, whereas the iPhone is a little different. Same with the YouTube app, ever so slightly different. You have Hangouts on both, email and all that good stuff. Syncs perfectly with all your apps. Now, obviously you have notes. Let's go through and look at some of the apps, such as Calculator. See the respective calculators. Check out their clocks. All right, you see both clocks. Check out their calendars. All right, you can see both calendars, set reminders. You can ask Siri or Google now to set reminders for you and dates and whatnot. Again, you have S Health, which you could check, set up your profile and all that good stuff. All right, so notification center, Google Apps, Google Chrome, all that, all the Google apps. All right, let's check out the music players. YouTube, of course. All right, you can see how the music players look. Of course, they'll show up in the lock screen and notification bar. Okay. There it is, control center. Close out. Reminders, notes, which you can ask Siri and Google now to set reminders and notes for you. Here on the iPhone, you have similar philosophies here. You can download third-party apps on Android, of course. And now you have Microsoft Office as well. So you got Office Mobile, OneDrive. Those are there. You can see create an account for Office Mobile. All right. With the iPhone, if you download the, or if you buy the 64 gigabyte model, you get specific apps that you're not, iMovie and whatnot, that you're not going to get with the 16 gigabyte model. Let's look at their weather apps. Of course, you don't have widgets on the iPhone. You're not gonna. Android prides itself on widgets. You can expand the widget and make it bigger, smaller. So although you don't have that on the iPhone, you do have kind of a weather widget here on the notification bar. So, all right, let's look at their weather apps. Okay, you can see the respective weather apps, similar looking, but different philosophies. So weather applications, you can add multiple cities and all that good stuff. And of course you have Apple Maps, Google Maps, which I'm not going to get into the maps. You guys know what the maps are all about. I prefer Google Maps over Apple Maps personally. That's just me. Again, you have widgets. You can move them around here. Very simple to do. In the home screens, you can adjust the home screens. You can add like let's say I want to move an icon over here. I can do that with the iPhone. On the other hand, I can't take this and move it here. It's going to drag it back to the grid. All right, guys, so I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover here with both these phones. I believe I've reached past 40 minutes at this point. So that's pretty much that. Now I'm going to give you my conclusion on both these devices. Okay, so if you're currently the owner of an iPhone, whether you have an iPhone 5 or even an iPhone 6, and you're looking at this Galaxy S6 and you're thinking, well, they copied the iPhone. It looks like the iPhone. It has the same type of build in a way. If that's what you're thinking, I'm not saying this is my perspective. If that's what you're thinking, I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think Samsung did something really unique here with the Galaxy S6, building a phone that is so different from their normal philosophy of devices. Taking that plastic, what people complain about plastic or polycarbonate build, and making this gorgeous device here. I think it's really, gutsy of them to do, and I like what they've done. It's ever so slightly thinner than the iPhone, but it feels a little bit more durable in the sense that it's likely not gonna bend. I don't know, we'll see. People will obviously have more detail on that in the future. So if you're an iPhone user and you're thinking of upgrading, or you're thinking, hey, you know what, it's an interesting looking device, I would say make the switch. It's not that hard to get accustomed to Android. If you're a new user, if you're a user who already is familiar with Android or Samsung or HTC or the Nexus or whatever, then you're going to be familiar with this system. And of course, development is going to be out of the roof for the Galaxy S6, or stay tuned for that. Now, if you're a Samsung user and you're looking at the iPhone and you're thinking, well, it's more fluid, has a better keyboard, iMessenger and all that, hey, you know what? That's all in the eye of the beholder. If that's what you want, that's what you want. I'm not saying that the iPhone is better than the Samsung or better than Android, but again, it's different. iPhone users are very loyal, but we found now that Samsung users have become just as loyal, specifically the Galaxy Note users. But with this S6 and with its beautiful build, beautiful screen, absolutely gorgeous design, I don't see any reason why anyone is going to be enticed to make that jump to the iPhone. Whereas I can see iPhone users looking at the Galaxy S6 and thinking, well, it looks familiar and similar to what I have. why not give it a shot? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a better phone. The iPhone's a great device, a fantastic phone, awesome screen size, 4.7 inches. Of course, if you want bigger, you can go with the 6 Plus. Same with the S6. If you want bigger, you can go with the Note 4. But for the most part, I do like what Samsung is doing. I do like what they've done. And I think it's really gutsy of them to go with this build quality. And I think a lot of people are going to be enticed by it, including iPhone users. So I do have to say the Samsung has really upped it a notch. And this is legitimately not just a competitor to the iPhone, but a phone that can really take it to the shed basically and hold its own. And Samsung has always held its own, but this, with the build quality, it just really upped it a notch. So great work, Samsung. Again, great work at Apple for creating a bigger screen. Again, it took them a little bit of time to do it, but eventually they gave in and they had to do it. So kudos to both manufacturers, both great phones. The Galaxy S6, which is going to be released early April, and will be across all markets by late April. The iPhone, it's already out, of course, for all major carriers, US and international. All right, guys, I've covered everything I wanted to cover on both devices. If I made any mistakes or errors, please let me know in the comment section below. If I didn't cover something in this ridiculously long review comparison, I apologize. Thank you guys for watching Technibility. We are your source for no-nonsense tech, and if you have phones that you want repaired, contact me in the description below. I'll leave my contact information. We do ship-ins. If you guys have any questions in relation to both these devices, again, also ask me in the comment section below. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe. And also stay tuned. We're going to do a lot more comparisons with the S6, the M9, the M8, the S5, the Note 4, the 6 Plus, the G3, the Xperia, and more. So we are going to go all out with this review unit that we have. Do a lot of comparison videos, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. I am Berj. This is Technibility. Hope you guys have a good day.